Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is episode number 6, and it's actually a very serious episode. And this is a good one that I think will hopefully bring about some good discussion and some good feedback from you guys. Honestly, my opinion is what it is, but I think when you begin to offer your feedback on some of these problems, I think that will make this even better. And I would love to hear what you guys have to say, especially about this particular problem, right? So this week, we're dealing with the topic of suicide and a young woman whose boyfriend committed suicide and whose family is sort of blaming her for it, which is the worst case scenario, right? That's probably the worst. It's bad enough that he did what he did, but then on top of that, on top of the guilt that you would already be feeling for being responsible for him killing himself, you then have the family blaming you on top of that. So she's in for a long, long haul of recovery and understanding and getting through an ugly, ugly, dark time in her life. And I think there's probably a lot in there, even more than what I'm highlighting in my answers, that is worth exploring. But I did want to, it's a very serious topic, and I did want to present it to you guys because I think it's one that's worth talking about and just having out there, and certainly if you have your own opinions about this and your own sort of, if you have stories about this or whatever, or maybe you know of someone who went through something similar, by all means, as always, I want to hear, go to the website, nobodyaskpodcast.com. I'll have all links in the show notes. I will also have links in the show notes if you know of someone who is suicidal, or you talk to someone who feels like they, want to end their life or don't want to move forward, or are severely depressed. I will have links in the show notes for you to go to learn more about it and to help your friends or family members. So let's just get right into this. I feel like it's something we should just jump into. And here we go. All right. Problem was sent in to Dear Prudence, and the person signs their name as Family Blames Me. My boyfriend killed himself last week. We had a fight after he went through my phone. We argued. He threw a glass against the wall. I left to stay with some friends. He called and texted and emailed me. I told him I wanted to break up because everything was too exhausting to deal with. He threatened to kill himself, and I hung up. I cried myself to sleep that night, and I woke up to find out that he took his father's gun and shot himself. I am so numb right now. My friends have been running interference, grabbing my clothes and laptop from his apartment. His sister tried to destroy them and screening my calls. My friends tell me it is not my fault and he was sick, but I know his family blames me. I haven't seen the texts. I don't know what to think. Help. Family blames me. Ooh, so this is very, very difficult. I am so sorry that your boyfriend did this to himself, that he took his life. You basically are now experiencing something that is going to forever change, and be a sort of a defining moment in your life. And I say that because usually these things are, right? Death, birth, traumatic situations in our lives tend to force us to look inward and to look outward at the world very differently than we did before the situations happened. Okay, so you are in the process of going through a change that is going to be painful, confusing, difficult. Ultimately, you will push through it and be surprised at who you are when you come out of it. Okay. And also, you sound young. I'm willing to bet that you are probably in your young 20s. Though you didn't say, I don't know. I just get the feeling you might be a little young. You sound it. And that's even all the more difficult because if you're in your 20s, especially 25 and under, you really don't know how to process emotions and things in a way that's, that's really healthy. You're just learning how to stand on your own 2 feet as an individual. And so that's why a lot of times relationships in our 20s tend to be extremely volatile compared to when we get a little older. That's not to say it doesn't happen when we get older. Of course it does. But, because we don't know how to process our emotions and express them healthily and don't know what to do with them in our 20s, it tends to sometimes be our relationships in our 20s are very volatile. But getting into some of the things that you say here, the thing about suicides is that, and what's so unbelievably, brutally painful about them, aside from the fact that someone else has taken their life, when, we believe that there's always another way, there's always hope. And I say that as someone who's been suicidal. I tried to take my life when I was 17. And it's difficult to be the other person watching someone go through that much pain. And clearly your boyfriend was volatile and going through a lot, and your decision to pull away from him was a fight for survival. It sounds like it's not something that was just like, oh, I'm angry at you, I'm this. I mean, there was a volatile argument that became violent in him throwing glass up against the wall or whatever. And I don't know if you had been going through that a lot, but you certainly flew, you took flight for your own sanity, right? And for your own survival. So I think it's important to acknowledge that, because that's hard to do. And I don't think that when we do that, when we are young, that we give ourselves credit for that. You did something to save yourself in a situation that was becoming so damaging. And you yourself say it was so draining that you didn't know what to do. So you flew into the arms of family and friends who could help you. And I'm glad you did that. Him doing what he did in no way means that what you did was wrong. And I know that you're going to be dealing with that a lot, but regarding his family, I don't know what the relationship is with you and his family. I can only say that we can pretty much bet that they are going through unspeakable pain right now, just like you are. And the thing about that type of situation is that you can never know how other people are going to process pain and whether they're going to do it in a way that's healthy or unhealthy, right? What we do know is that you need to process your pain and what you're going through and what you're going to have to do to come to terms with this in your way without being further abused or picked at or prodded or whatever the case may be. Now, I'm really concerned that your boyfriend's family seems to be very angry with you, which might be natural because they feel like you're the cause of this possibly. At worst case, his sister's wanting to destroy your property. I don't know what that's about, but that is extremely unhealthy, and that points to an unhealthy situation that was there before the boyfriend committed suicide. So I said that to say this: your friend's running interference by not allowing his family to get to you, and by not allowing them, by going over and getting your stuff from his house and everything, is a wonderful thing. Thank God for that. I just personally think you should really be thankful for your friends who are helping to intercede on your behalf and to keep this further from spiraling out of control. Allow them to do that. Allow them to continue to be the support. And don't you worry about what the family is doing to the family is going to be blaming themselves as well. Them blaming you could just be them lashing out at you because they're going through their own stages of grief and acceptance. It's important that you don't take that on. What's even more important, to be honest with you, I really think you should probably look at talking to someone professionally as soon as possible. In other words, you're numb. You said it yourself. You're numb. You don't know what this is an amazing thing that has happened and it's traumatic. So with you being numb, you're not really beginning to feel the pain and the real, the agony, the guilt and everything that's going to come in the coming weeks and months. I think that what may help you through this more than anything, starting now, as soon as possible, is that you find someone to talk to on a regular basis every week about this problem, so that when you do have to deal with the unbelievable and unfair amount of guilt that's going to be weighing heavily on your soul, both internally from yourself and from his family. Should his family be, again, try to come at you and get a hold of you and blame you, you will have an outlet, a healthy way to talk about this that will help you to work through these feelings. So get some help. Don't deal with his family right now, because it doesn't sound like it would be healthy. It sounds like it would be worse. Now, if they were different, if the situation were different, where they weren't being so volatile and angry towards you and whatever that is, if they were just like, oh my God, this happened, this is horrible, we don't know what to do, how are you, we want to talk to you, what happened, can you tell us what happened between the two of you, then that may be a little different. But if that's anger and blame that they're throwing at you, reject it. And let your friends help you reject it. And then get some therapy, talk to someone who you can trust, and work it out. And just know that you have a road ahead of you, but that you can do it. You can work through, you can get through this. You just never know what's going to come your way. And everything, I hate to say it's not necessarily that it's a test, but it's it will help you to define, you will define who and what you are even clearer. And as you move forward and you look back at this event, you'll look back at it differently as time goes on. So just know that what you're feeling in the moment right now, and what you think you're feeling and what you think is the case right now, that perspective is going to change probably drastically in the coming months and years. And as you get older and as you look back, you'll get clarity and more clarity and more clarity. So you don't have that now, you will get it. But thankfully, your friends are there, your family is there. Cling to them and talk to someone outside of your friend family circle, a therapist, a good therapist. And I wish you the best. I really do. Sorry you had to go through this, but I do wish you the best, and stay strong.